Hello everyone, this is Jackie Jia with China. Today, I'm here to help solve your payment problems in China, including how to register and use Alipay and WeChat Pay, and even how to bypass Alipay and WeChat by using your overseas bank card or even cryptocurrency for easy payments in China. This video is a beginner's guide, covering the basics of registration and usage. In the next video, I'll cover the more advanced features. Let me introduce myself briefly. I've been involved with cryptocurrencies since 2017, and I've also collaborated with Visa and MasterCard on payment services. I've been using cryptocurrency as well as Visa and MasterCard to make purchases in China for years. On top of that, I'm someone who grew up in China, so when it comes to this topic, I can confidently say there aren't many people more knowledgeable than I am. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll make sure to reply as soon as I see it. Now let's get started. I'll first show you how to register and use WeChat Pay and Alipay. For foreigners, Alipay is currently more convenient than WeChat Pay. Alipay is fully focused on payments, whereas WeChat is primarily a messaging app with payments being a secondary feature. First, let's talk about what you need to prepare before registering. 1. Your passport. Without a passport, you won't be able to apply for Alipay or WeChat Pay. 2. A Visa or MasterCard with your name on it. This can be obtained from your local bank, third-party platforms like Wise, or cryptocurrency platforms such as Binance or Crypto.com. 3. A phone number, ideally a number that can receive SMS in China. For this, I'll create a dedicated video later explaining how to get and set up a Chinese SIM card. To start, download the Alipay app from your app store and register an account. Be sure to download the international version, not the Chinese one. During registration, you'll need to verify your phone number, so using one that can receive SMS in China is best. If you don't have one now, that's okay. You can bind one for now and replace it later. Once your account is set up, go to the home page and click Add a bank card. After adding your bank card, you'll need to complete KYC verification. Go to the My page at the bottom right, then click Settings in the top right corner. From there, navigate to Account and Security, and under Real Name Verification, use your passport to complete the process. Once verified, congratulations, you're officially part of a cashless society. Next, return to the Alipay homepage. You'll see two key payment functions: Scan to Pay and Show Payment Code. Small businesses usually require you to scan their QR code, while larger businesses will scan your payment code. One more thing about Alipay. It offers a variety of third-party mini-programs. Through these, you can book hotels, order taxis, ride the subway, buy tickets, and more, all directly within the app. Plus, Alipay includes a built-in translation tool, allowing you to translate mini-program pages for easier navigation. In upcoming videos, I'll share even more tutorials about life in China. If you find my guides helpful, I'd appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up to support me. Now that you've learned how to use Alipay, let's move on to WeChat Pay. In China, WeChat is not just a payment tool, it's also an essential social platform. If you want to make Chinese friends, you must have WeChat. First, search for WeChat in your app store and register using your phone number. Once you've registered, tap the Me icon in the bottom right corner, then select Services and tap Wallet. Now you need to add a bank card to your wallet and verify your passport. Once verified, you will have access to WeChat Pay, and you can also start adding your friends in China. The logic behind WeChat Pay is the same as Alipay. You either scan the merchant's payment QR code or have the merchant scan your payment QR code. It's that simple. Now it's time for you to try it out boldly. In China, almost all major internet and consumer companies have official WeChat accounts and mini-programs. For example, Starbucks, Burger King, KFC, and Nike. You can use WeChat to browse a wide range of Chinese news and information, and also use WeChat mini-programs for daily purchases. With the tutorial above, you now have access to both WeChat Pay and Alipay. Next, I'll go over some important tips. Although they might seem minor, each one could be crucial for your experience, so please listen carefully. Having WeChat Pay and Alipay does not mean that you can pay for everything at any time or anywhere in China. Although these two platforms are very popular in China, their payment settlement systems are not applicable in all scenarios. In fact, only medium and large internet companies and chain businesses in China have access to the Visa and MasterCard settlement channels. Therefore, you can use WeChat Pay and Alipay for many online services in China, such as ride-hailing, for example Didi, online shopping, for example Taobao, JD.com, hotel bookings, group buying, food delivery, for example Meituan, LA.me, ticket purchases, and more. Additionally, many offline chain supermarkets, restaurants, and fruit stores also support WeChat Pay and Alipay. However, in many individual and small to medium-sized businesses in China, you may not be able to use these payment methods because they do not have access to Visa or MasterCard settlement channels. This is especially true for independent shops, street vendors, or local food stalls, where WeChat Pay and Alipay are generally not accepted. While these places may offer products and services with a more local flavor, their payment options are often limited. Given that small merchants in certain scenarios may not accept electronic payments, it is recommended to carry some RMB cash with you. Cash is your last resort in any situation, especially in remote areas or with smaller businesses where cash is still the most common payment method. Therefore, despite the convenience of WeChat Pay and Alipay, cash should not be overlooked. 2. RMB cash withdrawal. Upon arrival, you can exchange some RMB at the airport's exchange counters. If you can't find one, don't worry. You can also use your Visa or MasterCard at ATMs in China to withdraw cash. Check with your bank to ensure it's supported. ATMs are widely available, with one usually located every few hundred meters in cities, so finding one won't be an issue. If you're concerned about fraud or unsure if your card works in China, I recommend signing up for Wise. With Wise, you can get 2 virtual cards and 1 physical card. The physical card works at Chinese ATMs, and using the virtual cards minimizes the risk of fraud and avoids the hassle of unlinking cards when you leave China. For your first withdrawal, a few hundred RMB should be enough. Use it first and then decide if you need more. 3. When you use a Visa or MasterCard to make payments in China, there is a transaction fee. For purchases under 200 RMB, there is no fee, but for amounts over 200 RMB, a 3% fee is charged. This is because your transaction goes through an international settlement channel, which comes with higher costs. If you're staying in China long-term, using a Chinese bank card will incur no fees. If you want to avoid the 3% fee, you can ask the merchant to split your payment into multiple transactions. For example, if your total is over 600 RMB, you can split it into 3 smaller payments. However, if there are communication difficulties, you may have no choice but to pay the 3% fee. I've also heard that when using Wise, by linking its CNY account to your payments, you can avoid the 3% fee. However, even with the 3% fee, the cost of living in China is still relatively low. 4. Don't make transfers or send red envelopes without a Chinese bank card. Avoid casually sending money or red envelopes to Chinese people, and don't let them transfer money or send red envelopes to you either. For example, if a Chinese person transfers money to you, you may receive the funds, but you won't be able to use or transfer them out. The money will remain stuck in your account, and you won't be able to send it to others. Your account is essentially a USD account, while their account is a CNY account. China has strict foreign exchange controls, and private transfers between individuals may violate China's foreign exchange regulations. If you want to send money to someone, you can use third-party channels. Every Chinese citizen is allowed to transfer up to $50,000 USD annually for foreign exchange. By using a third-party service, you can legally transfer your USD or other assets into their bank account. You can also give them cash. If you're staying in China long-term, you can go to a Chinese bank with your passport and open a Chinese bank account. Then you can link this account to Alipay or WeChat Pay, which will allow you to make normal transfers and payments. Finally, if you're planning to visit China and need a multilingual guide, including English, Korean, etc., feel free to contact me for personalized services. Whether it's business assistance or exploring off-the-beaten-path attractions, I can also tailor a custom travel itinerary for you. You can reach me through the contact info in the image. Additionally, I highly recommend using Trip for your travels in China. Trip offers multilingual support, so you won't have to worry about language barriers. It's an all-in-one app for booking hotels, flights, attraction tickets, high-speed train and bus tickets, airport transfers, car rentals, and more. The payment options are convenient and widely accepted, making it a must-have for your trip to China. You can find the trip registration link in the video description. See you in the next video.